Welcome back to Hov. Today Parsley is finally telling us what we can do with that blue mist seed that's been sitting in our inventory since he gave it to us. For a good chunk of this is going to be kind of a Shaggy Dog story. Not to spoil it, but this is a 2-year process. Not only this individual story, but practically everything in the game. Speaking of which, do stick around until the end of the video. We have something to discuss in regards to those endings. But the spot that Parsley found that'd be perfect for the blue mist seed is the one that we always kind of knew about. Because there is that dirt patch there right from the start of the game. But there we go, now we can actually use it. Parsley's pointing out the blue mist seed has a very small window, not only of time that it can grow, but chance for it to grow properly. The blue mists aren't accustomed to the life in Leaf Valley. Though, as mentioned before, if anything does happen, we can buy more seeds from Lila's flower shop. We don't need to. There's no reason for it. Don't waste your money, but you can. So you might see where this is going, but yeah. We'll save that until whatever next happens with the flower comes around. Lila has an unsubtle crush on Parsley. So it's the 2nd of summer. Now we can actually start doing things around the farm. First of all, getting rid of some of these crops. During the changeover between seasons, even though most of those crops can actually be grown during summer, they don't once it changes over. Which is a bit annoying. I bought some wild mint seeds, because I haven't actually grown any flowers yet, and wild mints, despite their name, you don't actually see them out in the wild. So it'll be nice to see what those look like. They're kind of weird-looking flowers. And we got another mushroom. One of the many things we can stuff in the refrigerator. I'm keeping that one spot empty. I didn't intentionally do that, but it'll be beneficial for something that'll happen today. We'll need to go over to Lewis. He has something for us. The dog finally reacted to my whistling. I can't tell if he didn't react before just because he was eating, or if that is actually a result of his affection towards me. But whistling just brings the dog toward you, that's really it. There is so much bounty I can finally pick up. Having to wait an extra day, you'd think that would, I don't know, result in there being more things for me to pick up, but no. And here's what I was talking about. One of the things that Lewis does, specifically for some of the endings, is he is an inventor, and he's working on something, in this case, a machine that combines crops. This is the first of multiple seed bags he's going to give us. We just need to plant them on our farm, grow them, see what comes out. Eventually down the line, he'll have prizes to be sold at the racetrack, but I think that only happens in year 3. Along with the majority of things that happen because of the endings. By the way, I do call them endings because that's what happened in Save the Homeland. In Hero of Leaf Valley, they're a combination of events that ultimately lead up to the good ending. I go ahead and buy the ocarina. I don't need to use it right now, but once a dog likes me enough, I can actually use that to train it and teach him to do some tricks. And I also buy the milker, because in this update, we're going to finally get us some cows. I don't have those ores, but I'll get them this week. They're pretty common. Since it's a new season, it's good to check the trees around the village and see what new forage you can find. In this particular case, we get walnuts. We saw a walnut previously. They're all around the village. But unlike, say, all the other crops, the walnut trees regrow walnuts every single day, so you can always gather a new one from them. You know, to see blueberries carry over to summer, which is nice. I thought I'd kind of lost them. And another new fruit we can get is grapes. Gonna be saving onto those. I kind of figured. Are you setting up shop in the forest? Whatever. Got another fruit back there, and getting caught in a bug. This is a full moon berry. Apparently it's very good for restoring your stamina, but I prefer to hang on to them and give them as gifts. There's a couple of people who really like them. And there's a couple of recipes for them. There's also a new bug, rhinoceros beetle, and there's another beetle that we'll be seeing later. The rhinoceros beetle is actually used for a request later on, so I probably should have hung on to that. But nope, I just gave him to Tim. I'll be coming back to it eventually. Along with the walnuts dropping out of trees every day, they also seem to be more common than a lot of the other fruits. Most trees, I think there'll be 2 for the apples and oranges, and the grapes. Walnuts, I think there are 3 of them. Then there was the other beetle, Pincer beetle. And then this happened. That was new. As you can see with the plot where we planted the blue mist seed, on the day that you planted, it's already watered, you don't need to worry about that, but every new day you do need to come back and rewater it, otherwise it will wilt. Now last time I came up to the second mining room, couldn't do anything, but at the very least there is another puzzle here. I was slightly mistaken, there are 2 puzzles for every single mining room, and it just cycles between those 2. So here's the second one for mining room 2. Pretty simple. Nothing especially interesting from it, though. Got walnuts everywhere. At least there's more places to pick up those flowers, too. They were really rare during spring. This is another tree that drops grapes. And then I remembered that Kurt, right there, he's actually standing in front of a tree, which I never really hit with a hammer, so I wondered what was there. And it's another walnut tree. So yeah, that's 3 of them. You're never hurting for walnuts, which is a shame that there's not a lot to do with them. Aw. No, I probably don't go to sleep for hours. Don't you worry, Ponta. Well, we got plenty of fish that we caught yesterday. Couldn't do anything with it. We're gonna get plenty done in regards to fishing. Getting that recipe reminded me of all the times that I'd seen Meunier, if that's how it's pronounced, might be Meunier. Nobody's corrected me yet, and I thought it was Harvest Moon. It felt like a recipe that I'd seen multiple times, but then I remembered it's actually Tomodachi Life that I saw that in all the time. I did a stream of that, 25 parts, called it quits, but it was pretty fun. I feel like that game would make a decent, proper Let's Play on SA, though. Let me know what you think. Maybe someday. You don't actually have to give Ponta a fish to get the recipe. If you just cooked it and got that, not only would you have the recipe, but if you gave a fish to Ponta, he wouldn't do anything. Because you already have the recipe. By this point, I'm not really worried about money. I've gotten a good chunk of what I will be spending it on out of the way already. So extra things I could just put in the fridge or in the toolbox, I go ahead and do that. Primarily for requests. And before I forget, go ahead and plant the seeds that Lewis gave me. He did mention it'll either produce a new type of crop or it'll just be potato seeds. And since it was the first attempt, take a guess what it'll be. We're going to be doing fun things with that stamina bar in this part. Next day, Bob finally is giving us a horse. Unfortunately, it's not the horse that we wanted. Which is annoying. Every time I went to work for Bob, I always made sure to talk and to pet the red horse, which is what everyone voted on. But apparently at some point he decided, obviously he likes the white horse. Which, no I don't. I don't want that. So I do have the option to not actually accept the horse, which I will be doing. And then I can go over to Bob's place and purchase a horse. Get out of here. He gets really upset about it, too. Unfortunately, in either case, we really don't get to pick a horse. So we'll see how that works out. Too bad, it would have been nice to get the horse for free. But like I said, we're not really hurting for money. And it doesn't take much to get more money. Got a new type of mushroom here, the super mushroom. Don't let the name fool you, it's no different than any other mushroom. I think it's worth 10 more gold and that's about it. It doesn't give you any additional strength than anything else. I'll be checking back in on the blue mist flower periodically. Always come back and water it. If you miss even one day, it'll wilt. Though, as we'll eventually see, it doesn't really matter. Got some new fish. No matter what season it is, even if you've caught fish that you've gotten already, always nice to get some good ones, and then either cook them or just sell them. What does it matter? It's money. We catch anchovies, we also get sardines. I feel like there's not much difference to it. And we also get a sweet shrimp, which is the useless version of the shrimp. So let's deal with that horse problem. Hey. So unfortunately, we didn't get the red horse that we wanted, but we do get kind of a reddish-brown horse, which... consolation prize, I guess we'll consider. Horses are very good for getting around town very easily, but since we just now got it, it's going to take a while for it to like us enough to let it ride it. 3 people requested the name No Name, so that's our horse. All I know about this song is I briefly heard it in Breaking Bad. I've never actually fully listened to it. So now you people know the true extent of my music knowledge. It's not as wide as you think. Also go ahead and upgrade my axe, even though I'm not going to be using it very much. But I will eventually need more lumber, so it's nice to have. I'll probably just get more from the racetrack. Unlike in other games, the horses do eat fodder in this one. So I can either buy some from Bob, or I can just cut it from the field at the farm. Each bit of grass that I cut counts as 1 fodder. But it's still plenty. And when I cut it, it immediately goes into the silo, like in good Harvest Moons. Though what's slightly annoying is if I were to buy fodder from Bob, it would go into my rucksack, and then I would need to put it into storage. I can't really find a way to put it into the silo. So yeah, the horse doesn't let you ride it at the start. It needs to get up to 2 hearts first. At the very least, Bob goes ahead and feeds it. Keep that in mind for when we get cows later. It's pretty clear Bob gives more of a shit about the horse than he does any of the cows. The horse and the cows will always need to actually be turned and pushed out of the way before you can actually talk to them. That's gonna be fun. Finally found a horse mackerel. There's a request for 5 of them, but that's the first one I've found. And it's the 4th of summer. So geez. And a lobster, holy shit. Hope to get more, I'm gonna bake those. We can also see JoJo's starting to like us a little more, at least. It's pretty cool that when you get new animals, they show up in your save screen. Tomorrow will be rainy. I wish I had kept that in mind before I did some of the funny shit that I'm going to be doing in this particular day. So look forward to that. This will probably be the last time I show taking care of the mushrooms. We've seen pretty much every one of those we can grow now. This is another one of those random requests that I got. Someone suggested naming a chicken after a fruit, and I thought, oh, that's a cute name, so what's the least cute fruit I can think of? Welcome muskmelon. Fun fact, if you're in America and you buy a cantaloupe, it's probably actually a muskmelon. Real cantaloupes aren't common in the US, you're more likely to find them in Europe. We just got one more space before we're completely full on chickens. Be very careful when you're pushing your horse. If you push it too close to the door, the horse will walk out, and horses and cows, once they leave the barn, they go all the way out into the field, and in the horse's case, she likes to go as far out as possible. And it can be very annoying to get them back in. Though at the end of the video, we will see a way to make that quite easy, actually. Trevally Valley has plenty of good moments. Not worried about part-time work right now. It'd be nice to do it just to get an extra bit of milk. But I have enough to buy 2 cows, so fuck it, let's just get some milk for ourselves. These were last 2 specific name requests people suggested. All others are just kind of concepts that I can figure out myself. And they're slightly unoriginal, but fuck it. It works. There's precedence, I guess. So there we have 2 cows. Unfortunately, they're too young to actually give milk. But by the time that they're ready, they'll probably like us enough to actually produce some pretty good quality milk. And as you can see, Bob does not feed them when he gives them to us, so he really is only about the horses. And the cows just do not give a shit. This is one of the real downsides of Trevally Valley's design. Maneuvering the cows and the chickens. And I really can't tell if that's a hardware limitation or just a design oversight. It's hard to tell with the PlayStation Portable. And they're too young to milk. Oh well. Get out of here. All of these fish prints that I'm getting from Ponta are gonna pay off today. Gee, I wonder what goes into miso mackerel. Good time in there, Seagull. Damn. I was hoping to use that squid, but whatever. I like that he just immediately gives you a fish print if you don't have a recipe to get. Can't do anything with the sweet shrimp. Hooray, whatever. They're useless. Here we go. We're opening up another new fishing spot. And this one is the best. It's in the mines. It's an underground lake. And there's a lot of really weird fish in there. Some of the fish in there you get out in the ocean. But there's one particular fish that I'm looking forward to catch, because it is bizarre. I could stop giving him fish prints, but fuck it. There really isn't another fishing spot left for me to open. How many octopus recipes are there? I've probably filled it out by now. I'm stocking up on some good strength recovery foods, because I'm going straight to that underground lake. And I'm fishing my heart out. There's a lot of stuff to get in there, and I want as much in there as possible. Some pretty interesting recipes. One of the recipes required butter, which you make in the mixer with 3 small milks. So if you have the milk, you don't actually need to buy butter from Ronald. To get to the underground lakes, pretty quick. Just right from the entrance, go up and take a right. And this is the underground lake. Do keep in mind, as long as you're not actively fishing, time does not progress, but once you start fishing, the time does continue. And I feel like that's another oversight, because anywhere else in the mines, time doesn't continue. But here it does. Maybe it was for fairness. But again, can't really tell with this game. We get a new fish right off from the bat, and this is a pretty common one for the underground lake. The white Trevally. There's also a black Trevally, which we'll get probably in another season. Oh, I do hope this is the one I'm thinking of. Oh, Jesus. Not quite, but still, what the fuck is this doing in an underground lake? There is too much swordfish. I say that it's worth a good amount of money, but whatever. Flounders can be caught out in the ocean, we just haven't seen one yet. Here's the special new fish. This is probably my favorite fish because it terrifies me. What is that face? The dolphinfish. That is a creepy looking fish. So during all of this, keep an eye on my stamina and my health. Watch it slowly drain. We also get a new type of lobster, the blue Homard. And again, no, you can't cook with that. But it's worth a decent amount of money, I guess. I have so much stamina and health recovery items, I don't really care. I'm getting as much in here as possible. Since I have that recovery potion, why not? So after so much of that, I get that far down on my strength, and I figure one more fish. Let's see if I can actually catch this or if I'll just completely run out. And I'm gonna run out. There we go. And I completely run out of health, too. So that's new. We haven't seen that yet. Well, let's see. Maybe if I get a bit more strength, I can do it. Nope. Maybe I just need a bit more food. Nope. So once you're out of health, you can't do anything. Maybe I need a lot more stamina. No. We're basically dead. The reason I did that is because I haven't actually collapsed yet. Oh, I didn't know bats did that when you leave. But since I have no more strength, there is no question I'm going to wake up sick tomorrow. So that's an entire day that I lose because of this. Now, when I got sick in my first playthrough, Lewis actually came over and said, "Hey, don't worry about it, man. I'll take care of the farm. Just relax." Lewis and I aren't actually friends in this game, so that didn't happen. So that was kind of a reminder to me that maybe I should actually start giving gifts to people so that they like me. So if everyone has suggestions for that, for people I should actually start befriending more, then yeah, let me know. It'll be one of many things you can suggest. Again, stick around until the end of the video. Since I missed a day, all my chickens are sick, and they were all out during the rain, as you remember from the weather earlier. Bob came over, he gives medicine to our animals, so that's good, but they're still kind of unhappy. If any of my animals get sick again, I'm gonna have to go over to his shop and buy animal medicine, and then take care of it myself. In fact, the next time he were to come over, he would actually punch me in the face. So yeah, he doesn't like when you don't take care of your animals. At the very least, all of my wild mints grew. Those grow fast. Not really going to be selling them. They're not worth that much, but I'll be hanging on to them. There'll be something for me to do with them. And go figure, the seeds that Lewis gave me were just potato seeds. He'll try again at a later date, and maybe we'll see what we get from that. I put all my chickens away, and that's a good example of what the grass looks like as it's growing. It doesn't take long for it to grow back, and really, we're never going to have so many animals that you'll run out of grass, unless you purposefully cut all of it. No Name seems to be the only one who was at all affected by the rain, at least thanks to Bob. I don't think the horses can actually get sick, they can just get pissed off. Because the cows are perfectly fine, at least. Now this is a strange recipe. Take a dolphinfish and put in a green herb. We get fried dolphinfish. That's weird. I looked at a walkthrough of this game, and it said that the recipe, at least in that version they were playing, was called Heaven-Wrapped Angelfish. So I don't know if that's a translation thing, or just weird recipe design. But yeah, I don't know how you fried it in a mixer. Kind of funny, at least. Oh yeah, me not having to actually do anything with all those crops out there, and all the animals being indoors where time doesn't progress. Oh, it's such a burden. Here, actually start liking me in case I fuck up again. Getting all those rhinoceros beetles took a lot of me leaving areas and then coming back to hit the trees again. Now we're not having another one of those. The medicine that Lewis sells, that's basically as good as the stuff I got from the horse race. It's probably not as helpful for once we can get down to actually expanding my health. Finally got a new chicken, named it Bantam, and I looked it up, that is an actual type of chicken. All the animals are indoors even though it's sunny, but one very cool thing is if you use the bell, in this game, it actually brings out all of the animals. And you don't have to worry. Usually, like in Harvest Moon 64, it would just cause the barn animals to follow you around. Cows and sheep and what have you. But not in this game, it's actually very good. I really like that. And I accidentally wasted an egg, showing that we can't produce any more chickens. What a shame. I can upgrade my frying pan, though, finally. So now I have all the cooking utensils that I need. See, there's a sardine. What is the real difference between the anchovy and the sardine? I'm sure they're different species, but they feel almost interchangeable to me. Here's a funny recipe. That was not a horse mackerel that I gave you. Maybe they're closely related, but again, you can't use white Trevally in that recipe, so I don't know why we get it from that. Maybe it's just to keep it from getting annoying. I have so many of the same type of fish. It's not really a waste to give it to Ponta, whatever. So terrified of that fish. Oh, that sounds good right now. Already had dinner, but still. Nothing with the sardine. And the last fish of the day. Blue Homard, since we can't actually cook with the lobster, kind of a good replacement for actually giving him the regular lobster. At least for getting recipes. Now, what I was talking about previously with the blue mist, the endings, all of that, this is another situation where I'm going to request voting from the thread. There are 3 different types of endings. First is me getting the 50,000 gold, and then at the end of the second year, I pay all of that to Alice. The town is saved, no worries. But there is also 2 other types, which have to do with the various little character-based endings. There's the nature preserve ending and the tourist spot ending. In order to get either of those, we have to successfully follow 3 stories and events and what have you through to the end. So this is what I want the thread to vote on. I'm gonna be getting the 50,000 gold anyway, but I want to examine the nature preserve and tourist spot stories. I only need 3. I want the thread to vote on, do you want me to focus on nature preserve endings or the tourist spot endings? The ones that are in the nature preserve are the Tale of the Blue Mist, which is what we did today with Lila, the Tale of the Endangered Weasel, which will come up in later seasons, the Tale of the Golden Potato Seed, which will involve Dia, the Tale of the Bluebird, which will involve Aurelia, Tale of the Silverfish with Joe and Kurt, the 100 Years Old Cherry Tree with Parsley and Tim, and the Secret Fossil with Rudolph. Blue Mist and Secret Fossil we'll be doing anyway, because Secret Fossil involves mining, and I mine all the time. The tourist spot endings are the Tale of the Harvest Goddess dress with Gina. One thing we haven't really shown with her is she's a seamstress. And unfortunately, this is the one ending we cannot do, because the first cutscene required for it to happen, we passed in spring. It was one of the only events that happened in spring, and I was focused on other things. Everything else is possible right now, though. The Tale of the Cake contest with Katie, that'll involve getting gold milk and gold eggs, which happens anyway. When your chickens and cows like you enough, they just start producing those naturally. So that one will be happening anyway. The Tale of the Harvest Goddess Temple, which will be with the Harvest Goddess, that one is pretty closely followed with the Secret Fossil ending. The Rebirth of the True Harvest Festival, which will be with Ronald, Wallace, and Martha, that one might be difficult because it involves us befriending those 3 people. And those are 3 people I don't care about too much. The Holy Masterpiece with Chester, that one will probably be happening anyway as well, because that one's not hard. That one involves mining more than anything as well. It involves having certain ores. The Tale of the Horse Champion, which is why Bob wanted us to get the horse in the first place, that's his story. That one will not be happening. Horse racing is bullshit. I don't enjoy doing it myself. Lewis the Inventor King, that'll be so easy. That one's just befriending Lewis, so that'll be happening. And the Legendary Baker with Ronald. So you can kind of tell what those entail just by those names. So vote on 2 particular things. I'll be getting the 50,000 gold regardless, because that's very hard not to do. But vote on if you want me to focus on the nature preserve endings or the tourist spot endings, and also choose 3 of those that I just listed off that you want me to specifically follow through to the end. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed, hope you stick around, and I'll see you next time.